Morning, everyone. For those of you who are on YouTube, can you let me know if you can hear me? Is the audio okay? Let me double check here. Of the chat. If you're watching the live streaming on YouTube, please drop in the chat. Let me know if my audio is okay. Can you hear me? Okay. Thanks for confirming. So let me send the link to the chat. All right, so let's get started. Again, thank you for joining. And for today, I want to go through, this is the third open science workshop that we have been hosting. In the previous one, we cover how to do open code, basically how to make your source code open to the public, and how to put your data in open data repository. If you're interested in learning those topics, you're welcome to check out the recording. So on each page, if you scroll down to find the workshop recording, and it should take you to the my YouTube channel, and from there you should be able to find the YouTube recording. So we are live right now, workshop number 4 here, and so for today, I want to cover how to make your results open using Jupyter Notebook, and also how to build a website so that you can host all kind of notebooks. And we're gonna go through some practical examples. You might have familiar with some of those. If not, that's okay. You can watch the recording later if you want, like hands-on how to get started. But I'm gonna show you step by step how you can do this and how to maximize the impact of your research. And we're gonna use cover a couple tools. We're gonna utilize, for example, Google Colab, Jupyter Notebook, and also MkDocs. I will show you some practical examples so you can see what we are trying to build here today. And if you have any work on any resource project and you want to make your resource more accessible to the general public, you probably connect to generate some data. You want to also have some source code, but how do you put this online so that people can actually get access to it? And also eventually you want to attract contributors to contribute to your source code. And if you scroll all the way down to the bottom here, example repositories. So this is what I'm going to show you. You're going to build a website for yourself, and also you can create some simple website that can host the Jupyter Notebook. Also, it's going to allow user to actually click and then run the notebook themselves. And so the maybe the first one here, I'm going to show you. If you click the notebook share, for example, let me show you this one first. So you see, you know what I'm talking about here. For people on Zoom, you can still see my screen, right? I'm not quite sure because I'm doing like multiple streaming. So I'm okay, great. So here I'm gonna show you how you can actually I might need to log in here. Okay, so for example, we can use excuse me, use this example just to showcase what you can do. So it's just a simple GitHub repository, but on the right here you can click and take you to the website. So the website is built automatically. Right now it's pretty simple and just there's not much information there. But if you click on the left side, notebooks, and you can click one of those notebooks. So those are some of the notebooks that I share that I want to demonstrate how you can use some of the cloud computing tools, for example, to generate animation for from whalers and satellites, just with couple lines code using Gmap or Google Earth Engine. And you can also do flood mapping. For example, if there's any flooding or major natural disaster happen, we have a lot of satellites operational, so we can get those satellite data. But how can actually create some reproducible workflows for other people to utilize your stuff? So these are just some simple examples that I utilize Google Earth Engine, Gmap, and some other open source packages to create this kind of notebook so that you can easily use some of these to create maps. For example, here, this one is mapping the floods for Pakistan, I think in 2022. But I mean, it doesn't matter. The workflow is generic enough that you can adapt to other parts of the world. So you can quickly, for example, define the location of your interest, and then you can query the data, create cloud-free mosaic for the area, and you can also turn the layer on and off. So these are all interactive, and user can zoom in and zoom out. You are welcome to check some of these out. Let me take the link here, and so that you can actually visualize the data. And this is deployed on the web, so anyone can visualize and go through the data. You can also compare the data, for example, the data layer side by side. So this is Landsat data before and after the flooding. So you can clearly see it's quite dramatic. Right now, you might see some of these artifacts because of this loading the data layer on the fly. So you might need to be patient, but you can clearly see the impacts of this kind of natural disaster around the globe. And you can then use those to calculate, for example, NDVI. So you're going to extract the water. Some of the simple application would be if what's the impact area, what's the flooded area, and how much, for example. And you can use that to figure out how many people are being impacted by this kind of natural disasters. And you can also calculate before and after. For example, what's the flooded area, what's the water area before the flooding, what's the area after the flooding. And of course, you can also calculate the numbers. You can use optical data, or you can use SAR data. So there are different types of data that you can use to evaluate the flooding. And these are all interactive, like I said. You're welcome to explore, and you can just simply download the notebook and then just change the area of interest and also the time range. Then you can use this one to do change detection for other parts of the globe or for other events. And we don't have time to get into the detail, but I just want to showcase like these are the things you can make your results more accessible. So make your results open so other people can actually go through the result. If you run the notebook, you will get the same result. Unlike like traditional journal publications, you publish something and then you do a lot of manipulation. Sometimes it's very difficult to reproduce the result that you get. And this is kind of very important because if you do some really cool research, you want other people to actually replicate and apply your research or your methodology to somewhere else. But it's not easy. With this kind of cloud computing environment and the things that I'm going to cover, you can certainly make this more accessible. And for example, earthquake, we also have a lot of data released by MkDocs open data. So you can actually see the data coverage. You can zoom in and zoom out. You can actually see the data coverage for a particular area, and then you can use that to do cloud computing. So this also shows you, for example, what's the data coverage before the event and also after the event. So the blue color represent the imagery available pre-event. The red color represent after event. So sometimes if you need to see what kind of data are available, then this kind of tools can be available. Again, all the notebooks are open source. You're welcome to try it out for your area. And then last year, the Brazil flood, same thing. You can find out the area of interest. You can get the data, and then you can just do the comparison before and after the event. And also, similarly, the Dongting Lake floods in China. And you can get the data. You can quickly extract the water area, and you can compare the imagery side by side. So this one is quite dramatic. So you can clearly see here, it's huge. So the area after the flood was like many times larger than the previous the pre-flood event. And then you can use that to figure out, for example, what's the impact area. So the red color represent the area that has been flooded. And just with couple lines code, you can easily extract the flooded area, and then you can do some calculation, and you can see the impacts if you want. Again, we're going to explore this, but this is something you can do, is to develop the computational notebooks and then just make it available online. But we also publish a website so that other people can visualize the map. It's certainly also available on GitHub. So if you click the link, it will take you to GitHub, and you can also see the source code actually available here. But the limitation of using GitHub is that you cannot actually visualize the map interactively. So you will just see the source code, but the map is not coming up. Using MkDocs and using the website that we're going to build, it becomes a lot more interactive. So this might be something that you can utilize, but it's not limited just to notebook. You can actually build, for example, some websites with HTML. So the other example I want to show you here is the maps.js hub. So this one is another repo that I created that demonstrate a lot of interactive maps, for example 3D using map library, and it's super cool because you don't need to have a server. Everything is hosted on GitHub pages. It's all free, so there's nothing you need to pay. And so let's try it out. For example, right click and open this one. Here I have a lot of examples, so you can actually scroll down to see some of these, and you can click any example. For example, 3D buildings, right? So this allows you to create 3D maps interactive, and all you need is just a link. So you can share the link with anybody. They will be able to actually look at the map that you created, and they can play with the results. So if you generate some data set and you want to make the data set more accessible, this might be some of the way that you can do. And traditionally, if you work on some project or you have some publications and you want to share the data products with other people, you might have that on your Google Drive or your Dropbox or some of the cloud storage, and then you just share the link. But it's not very easy to actually visualize the data. So you should think about how to make it easier for readers to see the data products, and especially make it really interactive. Then it's going to be so much easier because people don't have to download the data. For example, this kind of 3D maps, the dataset itself is at the global scale, and it can be a couple hundred gigabytes, right? So nobody really wants to download hundreds of gigabytes of data to their computer, but you can create some apps, and then this kind of cloud native data format allow users to actually visualize interactively, and it can be anywhere. So you can zoom to any country that you like. You will be able to actually see the map interactively, and all you need is just go around and then zoom in and zoom out. You should be able to find some of the area. For example, I'm going to see how about here, Romania. You can zoom in. Once you find the city, then you can just press Control on your keyboard and then just drag it. You'll be able to see all these buildings. So it's super cool. This one is using the map tiler API, but there's also some 3D available. If you scroll down to find the over tour maps, so this one is using PM tiles, and it's very much similar, but this is free, so you can use it for free for any location around the globe, for any cities. It might not be, the data coverage might not be, complete, but as long as the data have some high attributes, you can actually visualize this pretty easily. So try it out. There are a lot more examples here. I think I have created hundreds of examples that allows you to see that. And for example, 3D choroplast map. So if you are doing any GIS mapping, this can be super useful. So you can actually plot your data just in 3D, just with couple lines code. If you want to learn more, check out the Leaf Map website. So I'm going to show you here quickly, and then go to overview. This one shows you all the examples that I have created, and you can adapt this to your own application. Okay, so these are some of the simple examples that you can make your resource products more accessible. So next, I'm going to show you step by step how to set things up. So if you this is something you want to do, it's actually super easy to get started. So all you need is just a GitHub account, and then have Git installed on a local computer. We don't have time to go through all the details. We actually cover in the open code section how to install Visual VS Code and then how to set up Git properly. So I assume that you have done that. If not, just click the link and then install them right now. It's only take you a couple minutes. So once you're done, then we can open GitHub. So if you don't have a GitHub account, I recommend that you just sign up one right now. So just go to github.com and then sign up for an account. Once you have that, you should be able to log into your account. So what we want to do is to create a website for your GitHub account. And can we access the past recording? Yes. So it's let me quickly show you here. If you go to any of the workshops and then scroll down to find workshop recording, and you will take you to the playlist. So I'm going to put the link in the chat here so you can have access to it. So we already have 3 workshops in the past. This is number 4, and then we have another one in 2 weeks. So you're welcome to check out the recording. And so I'm going to show you step by step how to set up a website. Go to Open Results, and then scroll down just to the example repositories. So what we're going to do here is going to use the first one. Sorry, my light's off. Let me. Okay, so the first one is set up a website. And if you have never done that, it's super easy. So sign up for a GitHub account and then open this link. This is called GitHub Pages. And so how many of you have used GitHub Pages before? You can just drop in the chat, let me know. I'm going to also paste the link here. If you already use that perfect, then you don't need to redo it. But I'm going to show you, for those of you who have never used this, you might want to utilize that because you get free URL, basically the DNS, github.io, and you can host tons of website on that. You don't have to pay anything, so you can think about it's like hosting space for you to host a website for different type of projects. But you need to have the main website, okay? So the first one is to create this main website. If you have never used this, you do need to create one. So what you need to do is to create a new repository. So you can actually come to your, let me show you, upper right corner here. If you open GitHub and then upper right corner, just create new repository. Before I do that, let me quickly make changes to my existing one because I want to show you exactly what I'm doing here. So let me quickly rename this one. You don't have to do this because I already have a main website, and that's why I cannot create another one. So I'm just going to rename it shortly. Oops, it's available. Hey, IO2. Why it's not working? 1 second. 1. IO. Huh. Something is wrong with my. Let me see here if we can. Let me just delete this one. So we can start from scratch. All right. Okay, it should be deleted, right? So once, if you've never created one before, so upper right corner here, create a new repository. Very simple. And then if you, by default, is to select yourself as the owner, and in the repository name, you're going to enter gswk, basically your username.github.io, okay? So your username.github.io. Make sure it's exactly the same, otherwise you won't be able to use it. So gs, no, basically the same as your username.github.io. Don't use anything else, otherwise you won't be able to use it. And then from here you can just say, okay, add a new README file if you want to, and you can choose a license if you want. It's not required, so I'm going to choose the MIT license. Don't ignore. You can just use everything as default. Then just create a repository. That's it. So once you have this one, it's going to build a website. If you go to the Actions tab, take a look at here. It says Pages built and deployed. That means this is a special repository, basically your main website. And then later we can have all kinds of projects under the main website. Right now we just need to make sure that this one is working properly. It might take a minute or two for it to build and deploy. And this is basically the main entrance for your website. Kind of like, for example, working at the University of Tennessee. This one is the University of Tennessee website. But later we can create departments, and then you're going to have like subdomain under your main website. And this is free, and you don't need to buy any hosting space. So once it's finished building, you should be able to click the link here and you take you to the website. So right now it's just a simple markdown. We don't really have any content. You can, of course, you can actually modify the website content to actually add more stuff into it, but it's not required. Like I said, you can just have a simple one like this. And once you have this, then you can build the project website to that for you. And if you want to have a personal website, for example, I want to have this one. Is my personal website. You can certainly do. You can actually upload all kind of contents. So one of the example that I usually use is HTML5 app.net. That one has a lot of like template. I'm going to send the link in the chat here if you want to. So I'm just going to show you how easy it is to create your own website just within a couple seconds. So once you're here, you can check out some of the templates, find any template that you like. And let me see if there's anything any good. For example, I like this one. You can take a look at the live demo. If you have never created a personal website, you want to create a nice one, you can certainly use some of these template. So upper right corner here, just click download, and you can download this one to your computer. So I'm going to download to my downloads directory, and that's it. So next, let me quickly show you how you can actually upload and make it available. So I'm going to actually clone this one to my computer. And then, for example, under my downloads directory, I'm going to clone this one. So you can use your, excuse me, terminal or your gig base. So I'm going to git clone and then hit enter. So now I have this source code here on my computer. And then what you need to do is simply unzip this one. So I'm going to click here, extract the files. And inside here, this one basically is just the website, the content. So we can just simply Control X and then just move it over to your repository. And after that, I can open VS Code just to make some simple changes. But I can certainly just double click, open the index file, and it's going to show here. This is right now what the website looks like. And what I can do here is just to simply modify the content, and then we should be good to go. So here, for example, I'm just going to maybe change the name to me myself. And then you can change the title. Okay, and then Control S, it should be automatically updated. And now if I refresh my page, you can see upper left corner here. Right now this is me, and that's it. If you have time, you can go through that, but just I'm going to show you the example. And after that, just simple, just say initial commit, Control Enter, push. All right, so I push the changes to GitHub, and now I can come back to the GitHub page, refresh. You should be able to see, excuse me, now the content is on the GitHub page. And if you just click the yellow dot here, it's going to show you it's building the website, and you can click, just wait for it to finish. Then you should have the updated website. So you can literally create a personal website in less than 5 minutes, but you certainly need to spend more time to modify the content. But so this will be just the main entrance. So you can certainly have some nice map deploy, put it on your website if you want to. So okay, it's done building. Now I can maybe come here, use this save changes, and open the website again, refresh. You see, so now my my URL, this is now to my website. Of course, the content is not much here, but you can test it. And so you don't really need to buy hosting space to host your website, you can use GitHub Pages. I think this I forgot the limit, like couple gigabyte. I think 1 to 2 gigabytes. So it has a lot of storage for you to store any content that you like, and pretty decent one. If you check out my personal website, for example, wetlands.io, this is the one actually also hosted on GitHub. So it's the same, just different template. But if you want to host a personal website, this is what you can do. And you can also have a custom domain if you want to. So all you need to do is just go to settings, and then under the pages on the left side here, and then from here you can provide your custom domain. But you need to basically on your DNS server, you need to point your DNS server to GitHub. You can check out the link here to learn more if you want to do that. But it's not very difficult, so just check the instructions. And so all you need is just type your custom domain here. Then anytime when people visit your website, it will basically redirect them to GitHub. Okay, so this is how you can set up your homepage just within a couple minutes. So just create a GitHub repository, name your username.github.io. Okay, so it must be exactly your username.github.io. If it's something else, then you're not going to have the website. So once you have this one up and running, now you can create a lot of other projects under this main repository. So I'm going to show you a couple templates that might be useful if you have no idea how to get started. So the first one I will show you is called GitHub Pages HTML template. So just click this link. It will take you to the website. And let me send the link in the chat so you can see what I'm going to show you here. So this is just a simple HTML template. So what can we do with this template? Upper right corner, you should see this, use this template. So I've set this one as a template, and then you can just simply use the template to create your own website. But like I said, the prerequisite that you already have your main website, your username.github.io. Otherwise, it's not going to work. Okay. So once you have that one up, you can check out the template here that I'm going to show you. It's a very simple. This is called directory listing. If you click inside, it's going to have some of this simple HTML. So this is kind of like similar to what I showed you earlier when I showed you those 3D maps, right? So the maps.gshub.org. So this one inside is hosting a bunch of HTML. So if you take a look at the repo here, just HTML. So if you and also the repo is fully automatic, so I don't update this repo by myself. It's running every 24 hours, and whenever I update, for example, the leaf map repo, this one is updated, for example, midnight. So you're going to put the latest HTML, and it's going to review the website. So it's like fully automated, and it's really nice because I don't have to have a server running on my locally. It's not way, and I don't have to manage it. So GitHub Actions is super cool if you want to utilize that. And so you can put some simple HTML. If you have used a leaf map, folium, or iPad leaflet, you create some interactive map and you want to share with other people, then you might want to use this repo. So all you need to do, let me show you, very simple. Just upper right corner here, use this template, and then just click this create a new repository. So once I click that, and from here you can just give a name. So for example, I want to say open result. You can use whatever repo name that you like. You can give a description if you want to. I'm just going to leave it as default, and then just create a repository. And just wait for a couple seconds. You should have this repo clone, and you're gonna have your own one. But the nice thing about this is it has GitHub Actions enabled. So you just wait for a minute or two. You will build the website, and then it's going to automatically deploy as GitHub Pages as a new branch. So basically, you're gonna have a new website under your username.github.io. Basically, a subdomain under your repository. So let's wait for this one to finish. And also, by the way, you need to enable the settings. So go to settings, and then under actions, general. So you do need to enable the read and write permissions, because we are using GitHub Actions to do things on your behalf. By default, it's only read only, so it's not going to allow you to do that. But if you click read and write permissions, click save, then you should be good to go. So just go back here. You will see right now it's a red cross. That means it doesn't have the permission. So just click the details again, and then upper right, you can look at the message. Say permission blah blah deny. It's because we didn't act quickly enough to enable the right settings. So I'm going to go here, and then upper right corner, rerun all jobs, and then run it again. Then you should have this one deployed. So basically, what you need is just clone, basically use the template to create a website, and then you can just put whatever HTML onto the website, and then you should be good to go. If you have any questions, feel free to drop in the chat. And so let me see. It should be done. GitHub Actions update here. Okay, so you see it's finished. That means it's being successfully deployed. So what I need to do is go to the settings and then pages. All right. So from here, you can select the branch. You should be able to see right now the GitHub pages branch. So GitHub hyphen pages is a special name for the website. So if you have a repo, if you already have the main website, username.github.io, and for any repository, if you have this gs-pages branch, it's going to be treated as a website. So what we need to do is just click this one and then save. So once you hit save, if you go to the Actions tab, you're going to see this one, pages build and deployment. So this is GitHub is doing things for you. So that means right now we want to treat this one as a website. So anytime if you update any changes to your repository, it's going to actually rebuild the website for you, and then it's going to deploy. So everything is automated. And if you are someone that's not familiar with HTML, JavaScript, but you just want to build a website using Markdown, and this is something that you can certainly do easily. Again, wait for a minute or two. Okay, it's done. So now if I click this link, see, now I have this website, Hello World and Split Map, and you can actually check it out. So open result. So I'm going to send the link here. You can just try it, and just showing you, like, this is something you can utilize to host some of your stuff. And just right now, it's just simple HTML. There's not really much information, but you can put any HTML that you like. And the nice thing about this is because of this one, I also have a script here called create index. So we automatically update the index HTML, the index file, to a homepage. So in that way, I can put more content inside this file, and you will automatically update the file. So for example, let me quickly show you how you can update this one. Once I have this one up and running, I can clone this one to my computer. Okay, so I'm going to go to my computer here, open the terminal, and then just git clone, Control V, hit enter. All right, so I have this open result, and you should be able to see the files directory here inside. And like I said, you can put any HTML in here, and I'm just going to open VS Code, for example, to, if you want, you can add files inside. So I'm going to maybe have another one, new files, maybe 3D map.html. Okay, and if you already have any HTML file, you can do it here. But I'm just going to show you quickly. I can copy some examples. So I'm going to go to my 3D maps that I showed you earlier. Okay, and I'm going to maps, and I'm going to just use this example, right? So you can assume this is something that you created. So let me go here, map liberate, and I'm going to just copy one simple example to show you that how easy it is to update something like this. So over to HTML, okay, and you can click the raw button. All right, so this is basically the content. Control A, Control C, all right, and then I come back to here, Control V, Control S. Okay, it's done. So I can actually test this one on my computer, see if it works. 3D maps. You see, works nicely. So once I have this, now I can just push this one to GitHub. So just come here and I can say add 3D map example. And then Control Enter, sync the changes. Okay, so now we go back to this open results repo. Okay, and it should be building. So just wait for a minute or two. Just ignore the AI, the Octa. That one it's like enabled by default, so it only allows you to basically use for 30 minutes, but you can ignore it. It doesn't matter. You can have the recording later. All right. So let's wait for this one to finish. Okay, it's done. And look at the actions. Okay, it's also done. So now I can just enable the URL here. Open results. All right, so let me click this one, refresh. See how nice it is. So right now, I have this 3D maps. Oops, let me zoom in a little bit. So take a look. So I just added the 3D maps. So I took HTML. Earlier, I only have 2. So whenever you push to GitHub, it's going to automatically rebuild that for you. And now if I click this one, see how nice it is. So you can actually host any HTML on GitHub. And like I said, it's totally free. You don't need to pay anything, but you can create as many websites as you want using GitHub pages. You can create another repository for another project, so you can create unlimited projects. All you need to just have the GitHub pages branch, and then it's going to build automatically. So this is the simple, website template they can utilize, and super easy. Again, you're welcome to try it out. So this is the first one. Any questions so far? I can show you the next one. So the next one is MkDocs template. The first one is just for pure HTML. So if you just have some file, and actually it doesn't have to be just HTML. If you want to basically have some file and then you want to allow the user to maybe download some data, you can also put inside here. In that way, you can generate a URL, so you can actually share a file with other people. If you are working a lot of like geospatial data or some mapping project, you have some small sample data that you want to use in your examples, this might also be a good way. But certainly it's not designed for large data set, but for small data set, it should work just fine. So I can quickly show you maybe another way of like how do you add some data to that. So I'm going to go to my datasets directory. So I'm going to just find some simple data set, and then we can use that. For example, here they say I have this maybe a CSV, okay, or GeoJSON or something you want to share with other people. So I'm going to have this one, for example, countries.csv. So if I click this one, I'm going to download this one to my repository. So under the open results files, and then countries.csv. And that's it. So from here, you can see the file that I have added, right? So it's a simple CSV file. And once you have that, I can say add sample CSV. Control Enter. Oops. I think there are some changes. So I'm going to actually undo the commit, because otherwise you might not be able to sync that. So I'm going to undo the commit and then just git pull. So here, git pull first. Okay. All right. And then it's done. And after that, just commit the changes, sync the changes. All right. So go back to the website. Wait for it to rebuild. And then we should be able to, oops. Not this one. I think this is the open results. 1 second. Open results. All right, so it's done. It's rebuilt. And let me show this one again here. Oh, probably because I think in the create index here, probably I only utilize HTML, so it's not being added. So let me see here, HTML content index, the file, walkthrough, file name. Yeah, it should be updated. Let me see here. Anyway, oh, it's up. So it just take a second or two. But now you see this one, countries.csv, right? So if I click this one, it should pop up and ask you to download. So you can certainly use this one as a kind of file hosting space for small sample data set. And you can copy the URL, and I can just send that one in the chat, so you can actually download this one. So this is might be some good way if you want to share data. But in the second workshop, Open Data, I actually show you how to host the data using GitHub releases and also Hugging Face data set. This better for hosting larger data set, but for small data set, this one should work just fine. So it's up to you which one you want to use. But I use both of those in different projects. Okay, so that's about creating a website and then put some HTML, share some sample data sets. For the next one, I'm going to show you how you can actually share Jupyter Notebook so you can make your notebook interactive. Other people can go online, just like exactly like what I showed you at the beginning. Some of those are flooding, for example, how you can utilize those, and then to showcase other people how to use your stuff. Sorry, I have the allergy, so my nose is not feeling well. But I'm going to skip to the scroll down to the example repository. Sorry, the seasonal allergy is killing me. So that's going to use the MkDocs template here. Click this one, and same thing. This is the one similar to the GitHub Pages template that I showed you earlier, but this one allows you to add Python packages, Jupyter Notebook. So inside here, we have, for example, you can even use this one to build a book or a whole website. Super powerful. Again, it's just going to do automatically for you. And let me send the link here so you can follow through. You can click the link here, upper right corner. It will take you to the website, just showing you how to use the website. So this is the MkDocs is the one that I have been using for many of my projects. And again, it can be interactive. So for example, if you click some of those table contents, I can actually, for example, showcase some of those, right? So you can have base map. You can have all kind of map created using Folium and map. So user, when they go to your website, they can see the map interactively. They can play with it. So if this is something you want, you can certainly do this. There's also source bar, so you can make your website just like fully functional. You can change the light mode, dark mode. Up right here, it will take you to the GitHub repo. So again, everything has been set up automatically, so you don't really need to spend a lot of time. How do I create this? It also has the GitHub Actions enabled. So in that way, you can do this one easily, just within a couple minutes. Then you just put some notebooks into your repository, and then just add it to the table of contents. Eventually, you can have some websites just like LeafMap. So this is how I built the website. But if you don't have time trying to figure out how to build everything from scratch, then you can use the template, and it's actually pretty powerful. So you can have a lot of content for your project, or you can use this just to take notes, right? So you can create some website for yourself, to share some blog posts or anything you like. All right, so let's get started. So I'm going to show you step by step how to create a website that can host Jupyter Notebook, computational notebook, and then it's like interactive. So what you need to do, again, go to the upper right corner here, use this repository, and then just click this one, choose the owner, and for the repository name, you can give any name that you like. So I'm going to use maybe MkDocs demo, okay? Something like this. You can give a description if you want to, but I'm just going to leave as default. Make sure that it's public, otherwise you will not be able to build the website. And then click create a repository. It's going to take a minute or two. Then once we have the repository, we can start modifying the changes. Right now, you will see here it's going to have some instructions. But the first thing that you need to do is to enable the settings. So allow GitHub Actions to do things for you. So go to the settings, and then under actions, general, scroll down, read and write permissions. Okay, so in this way, the GitHub Actions can build the website, deploy the website for you. And right now it's still building, so just wait for this one to finish. But you can start clone the repo to your computer. So just copy, and then similarly, I'm go to my downloads directory, open the terminal, and then just git clone, Control V, hit enter. So now we have this MkDocs demo on our computer. Then you can open using VS Code. And so let's see if this one is done or not. Still building. Oh, because this one we have some like dependencies, Python packages, and also some notebooks. So it's actually going to execute one other notebook for you. And if there's any errors, it's going to basically just run into errors. What's the issue right now? Permission. Probably just need to rerun it because we just enabled the permission earlier. Just rerun it. It should be good to go. So once you have this, I'm going to show you how you can actually make some changes. So if you go back to the VS Code here, then open this README. Because this is a template that I created, so you might need to update some of the contents. The most important one is the MkDocs YML. So this is the file actually decides what your website is going to look like. So basically the table content, if you scroll down to the bottom here, this is basically the table content, but you can update any URL you want to update. The easiest way would be to just search this one, just like what I show. No, go back here in the README. And so the first step is to use the template. The second one is to replace MkDocs template with your repository name. So whatever name that you use, I can just simply copy this one, and then on the left side, just select this one. So it's going to show you where you need to make changes, because right now my repo is called MkDocs demo. So I just MkDocs demo, okay? And pretty much you can just replace all of those. I'm just replace all of them, replace, and then I'm done. So this is it. You can make some additional changes if you want. So you can go into the README, see if there's anything you want to change, or go to the MkDocs, right? So this will be the MkDocs, for example, demo. And you can change the URL. So your URL will be your username .github.io, okay? And so this one, just change it to whatever your GitHub user ID. You can change your name. You can do it later, but I'm just going to quickly show you how you can actually quickly update the website. So let me go back to the MkDocs. So hopefully it's done now. You see, it's green check mark. It's good. Then you need to enable GitHub pages. So go to settings, pages, and then branch, GitHub pages, save. Then it's going to build the website. So go to actions. Just wait for this one to finish, and then you should have the website. But because I've updated locally, now I can say update template, and then Control Enter, push the changes, and wait for this one to build. It might take a minute or two. Sorry, I'm like moving very fast, but you have access to recording, so you can follow it step by step. If you're new to this might be too much for you, but I just want to cover as like more content as possible, so that you know what is possible and how quickly you can build a website. Once you get used to this, you can update things very quickly, and then you can build the website automatically. So you don't have to think about how do I manage the server, and everything is free. And you can share any notebook that you like. You can share any data that you like. You can also share any website, HTML, JavaScript, whatever you like, through just a GitHub repository. And it's open access, so anyone can access to that. They can actually contribute to your repository. So let me double check again. Oops, something is wrong. Okay, the pre-commit, because I didn't have a I do have a pre-commit, so let's see what's error. Oh, because there's some notebook outputs, so the pre-commit actually allows you to check things before you commit. This one doesn't matter as long as the the docs deploy this one is good, then you should be good. Okay. All right, it's done, and just wait for the website to build and deploy. Then I can come here to the home page, upper right corner here, about, use the GitHub pages template, save changes. Okay, and then just click the link. See, so now I have a new website just up and running in less than 5 minutes. Super easy. And you can start adding new contents. For example, here I can add a new file somewhere here, add a new notebook. So you can add different sections. So what you need to do simply just come into here and under the docs, right, I can have another notebook. So for example, I can create, let's say, split map, for example. So create a new file. I'm going to call split map.ipynb. All right. And then once you're in here, I can create a new notebooks. So for example, I'm going to use maybe select the kernel, and then I'm going to use my Conda environment. I'm going to say import leaf map dot or I can maybe go to a leaf map to copy some examples. So go to leaf map tutorials, and then split map, and I'm just going to maybe copy this one here, import leaf map, and then run it. Then I'm going to maybe copy this example, for example, how to visualize the imagery before and after. So just run this one. Okay, see, so now we have the split map, left and right. So these are the two imagery that are hosted on GitHub, and you can use this one to visualize the data interactively, just like this. So imagine you have some algorithm, you develop some algorithm, you have some data, you want to allow the users to run interactively. This is something you might want to do. Okay, so I'm going to say Control S, and then clear all the outputs. Then we should be good. So once you have the notebook, the next step is to add this one to your table of contents. So how you're going to sort it out? For example, I can go here and create a new one. So I can just simply copy this, paste, and I can say, for example, example. So this is not under any directory. It's just called split map. Okay, Control S, and that should be split map.ipynb. And after that, I can just use the pre-commit. You probably don't have this one. I'm just going to. Can we host any HTML? Use the URL instead? Yes. So the example that I show you here is actually the URL, but you can also use your local computer. If you have a file, have a local computer, you can use it to visualize it. But probably that if you push to GitHub, users don't have access to your file, so it's not going to work for them. But if you use any HTTP URL direct link to the file, then users should be able to just I'll show you. So once it's deployed, you will see what's going to happen. Okay, and so this is done. All you need to do, maybe this git pull first. Okay, so make sure there's no, otherwise sometimes there's some conflict. So git pull. Okay, everything is ready to go. I can say add split map. Control Enter. Sync changes. So hopefully this will show up on the website. And I'm going to go back to wait here, MkDocs template. Not MkDocs template, MkDocs demo. You see, it's building. So ideally, it's going to come up here. But if you're using any other packages, you're welcome to check out this one, requirements.txt. So this is where you add some of those dependencies. So if your notebook using something else, for example, NumPy, Matplotlib, GeoPandas, Pandas, whatever, you add the dependency here. So when the website is being built, it's going to execute all the notebook for you. And sometimes if some notebook takes a while to execute, you can also ignore some of those. So if you go to the MkDocs YML, this allows you to ignore which one you want to ignore. So if there's a particular notebook that's going to always throwing errors, you can just come here and then just comma, put in the file name here, then you will not execute. But if it's not executed, that means the map, if you're using interactive map, is not going to show on the website. Also, if you want to turn, for example, execute false by default, you don't want to execute a notebook, you can also turn it off. So it depends on how many notebook that you have, how complicated to run your notebook, how long does it take. you can actually change some of these settings. But other than that, everything pretty much you can use the default settings. All you need to do, you can just focus more on the table contents. Okay, so let me go back to check the website, see if it's done. Oops. I think just the pre-commit, it's okay. And let me refresh. Oops. Let me see the website. Oh, it's still being built, so it's not done yet. Once it's done, you should be able to see the interactive map. Okay, so there's a question about, for peer review articles, can we provide links to specific HTML web pages of the map and just use screenshot in the article instead of taking extra time to use desktop to create export 300 dpi maps the Zenodo requires? Yes and no. If you have an article, don't expect the article needs to be self-explanatory. So if there's some critical figures that you need to showcase, you still need to add the figures to the map, to your manuscript. But if something additional, you want to allow the user to do that interactively, then you can provide the link to your GitHub pages. You can certainly do that, but I will not certainly rely 100% that the user need to go to your URL to do that. This is particularly important if you are writing, for example, grant proposals. Don't expect the review because people might doing that offline, right? If they're doing offline, they don't have internet. Then if those are the critical information, they're not going to be able to access that. So critical information, you still need to generate the map and the figures, put it in the manuscript. But for like extended or additional content, you can provide the URLs. Basically, okay, you want to see more information, go to this URL, then they can visualize that. Okay, so we're done. Now, let me refresh the URL. So take a look. So on the left side here, now you should see these examples, the split map that I just created, and see how nice. So now I have this split map, like it's interactive, that I just added. So this is how you can make your results more accessible. User don't have to actually download the data. You can just simply go to the website that you built. So I'm going to send the link in here. You can try it out. And on the right here, you can turn the layer on and off, left and right. So you can use this to visualize basically all kind of geospatial data, vector data, raster data. All you need to make sure that you host the data somewhere on the internet. So this one actually hosted on GitHub. I basically use GitHub to host a bunch of like sample data set that I use in all kind of repositories. So it's actually under the releases. For last data set, you don't want to add it to the source code. You want to basically create a new release. So once you create a new release, you can upload all kind of files. For example, create a new release, and then from here, you can drag and drop all the large file. It can be up to, I think, 2 GB. So if you have some large data set, you can certainly do it like this. And you can copy the URL. So once you have the file, for example, the zip file, right click, and then copy the link or the address, then I can use this one in your notebook. So the example that I showed you earlier is actually coming from here. Raster dataset assets, right? So these are some of the dataset here. So all I need is just right click and copy. Then you should be able to actually do that in here. So I'm coming here, go to notebook, and you can actually paste it here. So the URL actually just come from that. And oops, not this one. So MkDocs, again, refresh. So it's up to your imagination. You can just use this simple website to create any notebook that you like. And again, you can change the light or dark mode. You can also see, for example, I can search it. Maybe leaf map. You can see where the leaf map appear in the example. So you can certainly show you some of the examples, base map, intro, blah, blah, color map, template, and they can go over to any map that you like, something like this. So this is essentially how I utilize GitHub. Yeah, you don't need a special account to host large files. You can use that. So let me show you, right? So imagine, right? I have this maybe 193 megabyte of file. So I'm gonna download this one to my computer, right? It's done. And then, so let's just use this MkDocs template as an example. So this one, you certainly don't want to add the file, for example, that last file to your GitHub repository, because people want to take a lot of time to clone your repository. The recommended way is to go to here, create releases, and then create a new release. And then from here, you can select a tag. You can create a new one. For example, I say dataset. It doesn't really matter. You can give it any name that you like, and I can generate auto release. So this is where you can upload the file. I can just simply click here, and then select the file. Then I just download it. For example, this TIFF file is 192 megabyte. So I just see here, click, and then it's gonna upload the file. So again, this one allows you to upload over, I think, up to 2 gigabyte for individual files. So you can upload as many as you want. Then just click publish release. You see, it's done. And then you can utilize this file. So just right click here. This is going to be the URL you're going to use. So I'm going to copy this one. And then I'm going to show you how we can utilize this one to plot the map. So I'm going to go to here. And I'll go to the split map. Again, I'm going to maybe don't save. And then git pull. So make sure that you don't have any conflict. So once you're done, I'm going to go to the split map here. And I can create a new example, right? So right now will be URL 3 equal to the link that I just uploaded, right? So this is the one that I just showed you. And then I can just create this here and create the URL. Then I can create a map. Map equal to leaf map dot map. And then create a map. And then from here, I can simply m.add cog layer, all right? And then I can just pass in the URL 3, hit enter. You see, so now I have this lane cover data showing up on the map, and it's very nice. It's although the color doesn't like the color is not great, but you can change it. So let me go here, 312.gshub.org. So previously I teach the intro to GIS programming, and there's actually example that allows you to visualize raster data. You can also create a color map. So I'm gonna go to here, quickly show you how powerful it is. It can be very quick. Yeah, so it's like this. So I have the URL, and we get a color map. You can add a map, and you can add a color map. So I can just simply copy this color map here. And then just specify the color map. So color map equal to color map. So hopefully it'll be rendered using the color we want. You see, super nice. So now I use the data that I uploaded to GitHub, and it's 120, almost 200 megabyte. It can be 2 gigabyte. It doesn't matter. So after that, I can just say Control S, and then we're done. Control S, and so just simply, oops. It doesn't show up on the GitHub changes. Let me do it one more time here. Okay, so it comes up now. I will say add NAOCD data, Control Enter, and then push the changes. So once it's done, once the website is being built, then you will have access to the new the NAOCD website. So this allows you to actually visualize data basically using the cloud optimized GeoTIFF. So make sure that your data is cloud optimized GeoTIFF. In that way, it's going to be much faster. Otherwise, you're going to quickly generate the tile. It might take some time. So if you want to just create a cloud optimized GeoTIFF, you can just use leaf map to do that. So for example, I can quickly show you here. Go to the split map. All right, and I can just import leaf map. And if you have any file locally, for example, I have a file here. This is the file that I have. So I can just simply copy, I say file path equal to, oops, let me zoom in a little bit. We're running out of time, so I'm just going to move very quickly here. This is the file. Imagine this is the raster file that you have, and you want to host it in the cloud, but make sure it's cloud optimized GeoTIFF. So you can just leaf map.cod validate. You might just import leaf map. I think the volume doesn't have all the functions. So just run this one again. File, and then code validate. So it's going to show you if this one is a cloud optimized GeoTIFF or not. Okay, this is great. Otherwise, you can just say leaf map dot image to to code, okay? So it's going to allow you to convert any raster data to cloud optimized GeoTIFF, just one line of code. So you can pass in just the file path here, and then I can give a new name, for example, code.tiff or something like that. It should be able to convert this one for you, and then you upload the cloud optimized GeoTIFF to the GitHub releases. Then you generate the URL, and then you pass the URL to your program. Then you should be able to use it. So I'm going to quickly update the website here and take a look. So this 200 megabyte file, now I can host it on GitHub for free. And I can also create a web app interactively that allows your user to interact with the map, right? So imagine you're working on some journal publications, and you generate some data products. Instead of hosting on some like Zenodo or like Figshare or Google Drive, that people have to download to see the data. This is a much better way. So you can actually upload gigabyte of data to GitHub and then just create some simple web applications in a notebook. And user can actually also open this one directly, for example, on GitHub. So what I recommend here, if you go to the GitHub repository and then go to any of the notebook that you want, right? So the easiest way to open this one on GitHub on Google Colab is to go to the URL, and then at the top here, github.com blah blah something. Just add to Colab. Just add to Colab after GitHub, and then hit enter. It will automatically redirect this one, and you will open on GitHub. So in this way, you can have instructions let the user know what they need to do. But you can also add a open in Colab base. So let me show you quickly how I'm going to do that. So I'm going to go to here and go to the website GitHub Colab. I'm going to show you here. This is the basically markdown, right? You can copy and paste and then add one to your notebook. So I'm going to copy this one, and then coming back to my notebook, I'm going to just ignore all of this right now, and then I'm going to add a markdown cell. So this is the markdown, and then I can just Control V. You see here, this is just the URL to that. And then what you need to do is just go to this one that we just opened earlier, copy the URL, and then paste it here. Control V, Control S, hit enter. So now we have this open Colab base, and you can just click this one. User will be able to open on Colab. So this is like one step forward if you really want to make it easier for the users. I'm going to ignore the TIFF file here, delete this one, okay? And then let me remove all of this because we don't need that. Oops, Control X, Control X. So import leafmap.volume as leafmap. Okay, Control S. Oh, I also deleted the markdown. Sorry, I was moving too fast. And let me do one more time. I'm going to go to the GitHub here, copy this one, and paste here, and then just copy the Colab URL. Control V, Control S, and then that's it. And it should update it. I think I can see here, add Colab base. Control Enter, push, and then it should be done. So this should be the final one that I'm going to show you under the MkDocs demo. Where it is? No, this one. Where is it? MkDocs demo. Yeah. So here, and then under the docs, now I have this split map. You should have this open in Colab base here, right? So now, if user navigate to your repo, they can just click this one, and then they can open this one. Certainly, you can add another code block, for example, import pip install leafmap or something like that. Pip install leafmap. Then user can actually run the notebook. They can actually go through that. So I can run this one, and then you can import the library. You can run the notebook. Everything will be reproducible. So this is super important, especially creating some algorithms. You want people to replicate the result. If you can have some kind of this notebook hosting on GitHub or on website, at the minimum, you need to have something, on GitHub. But if you want to go make it even easier for the readers, then you create a website and then host the website, and then you can have some data interactively. That would be even better. Okay, it's done. Now I can just run this one, and it might take a couple seconds, and then you can run the notebooks. You see, so it's exactly the same. So it's the website is being built basically when you execute the notebook, and you can run this one. The same idea. You see how cool it is to and now everything is interactive. Okay, I have a couple more resources here. I don't have time to show you the Zenodo, but basically Zenodo, you can use GitHub. Once you have the repo, you can create create basically a snapshot on Zenodo, and then you will generate a DOI. So if other people using a stuff, they can cite your repo if they want to. Okay, so that's all I want to show you. I know it's very fast, but I just want to show you what's possible. And some of these political examples template, you can feel free to use them. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask on those GitHub repo. And you can also follow me on social media. Or if you want to get hands-on, you can check out the YouTube recording. So this is what we have today. For the last workshop, we're going to cover how to do open publishing. So for example, how can you publish, maybe write a book using open source software. And some of the example that I can show you would be LeafMap, for example, GMap, for example. So I'm going to show you how you can create tutorial, how to write a book using pure open source. So you don't really need like fancy, need to pay anybody anything. So you can write a notebook using, I write a book using notebook. You can have figures, you can have table, you can have citations, you can have all kinds of things. One example I want to show you, maybe one last thing here would be, I forgot where did I put it, maybe Geospatial. I actually have a book chapter that I recently wrote that using open source. For example, this is the one, okay? So I'll show you here. This is what I did using using Jupyter Book and also MIST. So it's it's written using Markdown, but I can compile it as a PDF. So you're welcome to check this one out. I can show you here. Oops, I think I sent to the wrong everyone in the meeting. So this is one last thing I want to show you, but this is what we're going to cover in the next workshop, showing you how to write maybe a book chapter, how to write a manuscript using just Markdown and IPy a notebook, and then you can compile that one as a PDF. So for example, this would be the PDF that has been compiled using Markdown nicely. So you have different sections, you have source code, you can even have figures, you can have citation, you can have all kinds of things in there, and it's totally free. You can just use the template to do all kinds of things. Super cool. Okay, so I hope to see you again in 2 weeks. I'll be out of town next week for a conference, but we come back same time in 2 weeks, 10 a.m. Eastern time, and I'm going to show you how to write a book, write tutorial, write documentation using Markdown, and then just generate PDF or Microsoft Word documents, and it's free. So this is going to help you publish anything that you like. You can even use it to write a blog or write a website, anything like. If you have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself if you're using Zoom, or you can ask on YouTube. We can have a couple minutes for questions. Anyone? Let me see if there's any questions. My thoughts on Quarto and Mist. Quarto, I think most people in the R community, they use Quarto, but I use Mist because it's easier. But I think Quarto, they also support Python or something like that. But for me, I like Mist better, MYST, Markdown, because it's when I'm writing, I can write using Mist. It will automatically synchronize to a notebook, or I can write the notebook. It will automatically synchronize to Mist using Jupyter. So in that way, I just work on the same document. It's actually synchronized multiple files, and then once I push to GitHub, everything is built automatically. So I like this workflow, but if Quarto works better for you, yeah, I mean, to me, it doesn't really matter. Just find the one that works best for you, and then just to use it really well to improve your productivity. But right now, I think I use this one. You can even use Mist to create a website, a Markdown, or anything like that. So maybe I can show you here, cv.gshub.org. I think I built a website. Right now it's not finished yet. For example, I can even use Meet to create a website to have all your publication, all your stuff, like just for fun. So if it's something you really want to do, you can certainly use. So it's just simple Markdown. So the syntax is very simple and easy to use. And obviously, it's open source. You can actually check out the GitHub so you can see exactly how I do it. This is just using the Meet Markdown to actually create a website. You can also use MkDocs, like mostly for package documentation, but for books and CV website or something like that, I prefer using Meet Markdown. How to address any data sharing issues while using GitHub? I'm not sure what kind of issues that you are referring to, but it's it makes sure that you make the data public accessible. So create a new release and then just upload whatever files that you have. For small files, you can put it into your Git history. But for anything larger than 10 megabyte, I would not recommend that. Just create a new release, upload it, generate a URL, and then just share with anybody. They should be to use. But for large data set, I would recommend using Hugging Face. Hugging Face allows you to upload like hundreds gigabytes of data. It's free. So if you go to Hugging Face, for example, I hosted a bunch of data here. And so this data, I'm going to use it for example, for deep learning. You can also keep track of how many people actually download your file. So again, for large file, I would prefer Hugging Face because it has a dedicated dataset module that allow people to share data. GitHub is still, the primary use case is for sharing source code, not really for doing data, but for the releases, you can still utilize that because it allows you to upload data up to 2 gigabytes. So, these are 2 websites that I used daily, pretty useful. Again, if you want to learn more, check out the open code section that we did the second workshop, teach you how to upload the data, how to share the data, and then how to feed the data into your program so that other people can use that. It's in the same recording section here. You should be able to find it. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, thanks everyone for joining. If you don't have any questions, hope to see you next time. Again, feel free to ask questions on the YouTube video below, or you can go to GitHub, or you can connect with me on social media. I hope to see you again, and hopefully you learn some practical skills now how to make your resource products more accessible, and how to create notebooks, how to create a website to share with anybody without paying anything. It's all free, so there are a lot of resources out there. Highly recommend that you check it out. GitHub Actions, GitHub Pages, Hugging Face, and happy coding. There are not a lot of coding, but you can certainly do a lot of cool stuff to showcase the things that you can do, and then demonstrate some of the cool projects that you have been doing. Okay, we'll see you in the next one. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye. See you next time.